I thought you were going to finish it. It's one of the greatest themes in all of film history.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was just thinking about the Roman Empire, as one does.
Does that whole meme where old guys are thinking about the Roman Empire at least once a day?
And half the population is confused whether it's true or not. But more seriously, thinking about the wars going on in the world today, and as you know, war and military conquest has been a big part of Roman society and culture, and I think it's been a big part of most empires and dynasties throughout human history. So
yeah, they usually came as a result of conquest. I mean, there's some like the Austro-Hungarian Empire where there was just a lot of sort of clever marriages.
But fundamentally, there's an engine of conquest. And they celebrate excellence in warfare. Many of the leaders were excellent generals.
Yeah. That
kind of thing. So, big picture question, Grok approved. I asked this is a good question to ask.
Tesla Grok approved?
Yeah. At least on fun mode. To what degree do you think war is part of human nature versus a consequence?
Now, here we go. I'm using this documentary between Elon Musk and Lex Friedman as a context to discuss some of the things that I'd like to talk about. Number one, war is part of human nature. And I don't mean that each and every person or each and every individual is a warmonger. But the thing that you must understand about human nature is that there is a polarity to all things. Heat and cold repel one another. They work on each other to destroy the other. The same thing works for all things. Light seeks to repel darkness, and darkness seeks to consume the light. Now, there are forces within this world that seek to destroy the other. You have to understand that darkness in its nature is inherently evil. It seeks to destroy, corrupt, pervert, and break down everything that radiates life. Now, when it comes to light, light is a creative thing. It likes to create and produce and multiply. And these are the differentials between people that exist in this world. You have one type of person that wants to destroy and to break down, and you have another side that wants to create and to build. So when we talk about the human nature and the Roman Empire, as discussed with Elon Musk and Lex Friedman, we are talking about the nature of things. Is it ever going to be peaceful? No. Because there's always going to be two sides, each seeking to gain advantage over the other. Now, we want to continue with this video so we can continue to break this down as we go.
Of how human societies are structured. I ask this as you have somehow controversially been a proponent of peace.
I'm generally a proponent of peace. I mean, ignorance is perhaps, in my view, the real enemy to be countered. That's the real hard part, not, fighting other humans. But all creatures fight. I mean, the jungle is like, you look at people think of this nature as perhaps some sort of peaceful thing, but in fact it is not. There's some quite funny Werner Herzog thing where he's like in the jungle, like saying that it's like basically just murder and death in every direction. I mean, the plants and animals in the jungle are constantly trying to kill each other every single day, every minute. So it's not like we're unusual, in that respect.
But there's a relevant question here whether with greater intelligence comes greater control over these base instincts for violence.
Yes. We have much more of an ability to control our
No. We're going to stop there because Elon Musk is wrong in this aspect. He's wrong because human nature cannot defy itself. There are laws built into the foundations of reality. That heat is always going to repel cold. That light is always going to repel darkness. And as long as these forces exist, as long as as long as there is a polarity to things, then there will never cease to be a battle between forces. And these are the forces in which we speak. These are the forces that control our world to this day. We have light beings and we have beings of darkness. Each one seeks to gain advantage over the other. And this is why I want to break this down for you step by step so that people on my channel can understand. Let us continue.
No big instinct for violence than, say, a chimpanzee. And in fact, if one looks at, say, the chimpanzee society, it is not friendly. I mean, the bonobos are an exception. But chimpanzee society is full with violence, and it's quite horrific, frankly. That's our limbic system in action. Like, you don't want to be on the wrong side of a chimpanzee. It'll eat your face off and tear your nuts off.
Yeah, basically there's no limits or ethics or... they're almost at just war. There's no just war in chimpanzee societies. Is war and dominance by any means necessary?
Yeah, chimpanzee society is like a primitive version of human society. They're not like peace-loving, basically, at all. There's extreme violence.
And that, my friends, is where it's not true. It is exactly like human society. Just as in a chimpanzee society and every society on this planet, there are forces that are composed completely of darkness, or more of light or more of darkness, and that is where you get the battle that ensues between the two. The battle ensues between the opposites, just like when you have forces that try to push against each other, they are always going to repel each other because they are not alike. Now, magnetism doesn't work in exactly the same way that we're talking about now, but the thing is, human nature, when it comes to nature, opposites repel each other. They fight. They do not attract. Opposites do not attract. They do in some aspects, if you want to talk about the forces of darkness that parasite onto the light, because darkness parasites onto the light in order that it may have life. Without light, darkness would have no life. So it must attach itself to a host in order to vampire that life from it. And that's why you have the physical body. The physical body is composed of material elements. And these material elements are products of darkness. And these products of darkness use the light to have its life. Because without the light, darkness would have no life. Now let us continue.
And once in a while, somebody who's watched too many Disney movies decides to raise a chimpanzee as a pet. And then that eats their face or rips their nuts off or chews their fingers off, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's happened several times.
Ripping your nuts off is an interesting strategy for interaction.
So it's happened to people. It's unfortunate. Like, that's, I guess, one way to ensure that the other chimp doesn't, contribute to the gene pool.
Well, from a martial arts perspective, it's a fascinating strategy.
the nut ripper.
I wonder which of the martial arts teaches that.
I'll tell you which one of the martial arts teachers teaches you that. Cronus, Saturn, was the one who castrated his father Uranus in order that he could not reproduce any longer. These things might sound far-fetched and even fanciful when it comes to human logic, but the thing is, when you castrate an individual, you take away from their power to reproduce, to perpetuate their ideology, to perpetuate their knowledge into the future. When you take away that right, when you take away that element to give life and to give birth to that truth, you rob that thing of the element to produce knowledge. But see, knowledge can never be defeated, nor can it be destroyed. Jesus Christ was representative of that when he defeated Satan on the cross. He proved during that time that no matter how hard evil tries, it can never destroy the forces of good. It can never erase knowledge completely, because knowledge is a light that banishes much darkness.
I think it's safe to say if somebody's got your nuts in their hands and has the option of rubbing them off, you will be amenable to whatever they want.
Yeah. So, like I said, somehow controversially, you've been a proponent of peace. on Twitter, on X.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about the wars going on today and to see what the path to peace could be. How do you hope the current war in Israel and Gaza comes to an end? What path do you see that can minimize human suffering in the long term in that part of the world?
Well, I think that part of the world is definitely, like, if you look up there is no easy answer in the dictionary. It'll be that, like, the picture of the Middle East, in Israel especially. So there is no easy answer. Or what this is strictly my opinion of, is that the goal of Hamas was to provoke an overreaction from Israel. They obviously do not expect to, have a military victory, but they really wanted to commit the worst atrocities that they could in order to provoke the most aggressive response possible from Israel, and then leverage that aggressive response to rally Muslims worldwide for the cause of Gaza and Palestine, which they have succeeded in doing.
These forces succeeded in doing what they do best. Because in this universe, as I've said, we have forces of light and we have darkness that each seek to destroy and conquer the other. The thing is, a little bit of light banishes a lot of darkness. A lot of darkness doesn't conquer a little bit of light. That's not the way it works. That's why in the very beginning of the universe, the scientists speculate that antimatter and light matter were created in equal amounts. So how then did they not destroy one another? Because when they come in contact with each other, they obliterate one another completely. The thing is, there was something that happened in the very beginning of time that granted strength to the light above the darkness, which is why light is always destined to conquer the darkness. No matter what dark forces believe, it is impossible for darkness to conquer the light, because in the end, light is destined to conquer the night. I hope you guys like this. This is part 1 of the Elon Musk and Lex Friedman podcast. Go visit their channel. This is for them. Do not take their content as my own. This is my perspective based primarily on the things that we are watching here today. Hit like, subscribe, Rabbit Hole Matrix. I'm out.